Alright. Shalom, I will give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Raquah HaKadosh, and a double honor to the apostles of GMS and the sincere Shalom to the brothers out there pushing this truth and sincerity. And I want to go into a topic about keeping the faith, really, because faith is technically all we got in this truth. Faith is, I forgot the scripture what it was called, but it said faith is the substance of all things. And we don't, going to faith, we don't need to see faith in order to know it. Faith is something you can't see. Faith is something, is actually a gift that nobody can take from you but the Lord. Faith is the one thing that keeps the brothers pretty much sane in this truth. Of course, by the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. But that goes into the faith. The faith of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. We have faith into him, not into Esau. If we put our faith into Esau, then we'd be like the rest of these niggas. All bugged out, want to fight against the system of Babylon, but wants to protect the so-called white man at the same time. Like, these cool niggas are confused. They're confused, they don't know what they want. Just like these women. The women are very indecisive. But so are these men. They don't do the right things that they're supposed to. They want one way this way, but another this way. But that's to stay on track, that these people don't have faith in the Lord. They have faith in Esau more than they do their own central picture. Ain't that the sad thing? I see mostly women going to church willing to pay however much the pastor asks for, or whatever they want to give. But as soon as they come right back out, they back out doing being the white man's bid wench, whether it's literally or metaphorically, or should I say spiritually. And that's how a lot of these people think, because these niggas are slaves. These 2/3 are slaves under Esau. They think they have their own free will, but yet these are the same ones getting locked up, or if they do a crime, or if they do a crime and they decide to go somewhere else and they get caught, they get expedited back to where they committed the crime at. So, when you do go back, they can pull up old charges from when you was younger, some that should have been forgotten about if you was forgiven, but yet they'll keep holding that against you. That's why these people are faithless unto the Lord. Because I guarantee you, every time they go to jail, they come right back out doing the same thing for Esau, whether that's going to work or out here selling drugs. It never ends. But that's why we as the hopeful elect, we gotta keep our faith strong, and by doing that, we gotta keep continually praying as much as we can unto the Lord. Because we can't pray for these 2/3, no matter how bad of a state that we see them in. Because I admit, sometimes I feel pity for them, seeing how drugged out they are, how they could have been when they was kids if they was disciplined. As far as what I mean by that, I mean, like, if they actually had a father in their lives or the mother in their lives taking care of them, they were probably good kids when they was children. But as they grew up, they fell for that drug addiction. That destroys a lot of people's lives, and that's mostly because how Esau got control of us. That's why I pray that even though I was raised differently, anything can happen to me, as far as by the Lord turning his back against me and letting these devils do bad things. But I pray to the Lord that doesn't happen. I pray that He keeps me strong in His faith long enough until this place is destroyed, or in general, really. Because I pray I'm winning the hopeful elect, as I'm pretty sure all brothers are hoping for. But we gotta have that armor of Yahweh, which is the Ephesians 6:11, where it says, "Put on the whole armor of Yahweh, therefore you may be able to stand against the wiles of devils." And standing against those wiles of devils are the spirits that could be talking, the demonic spirits that could be talking in your ear, telling you to do certain things that are wrong. It don't have to be drugs. It could be anything that's wrong. And not a lot of people tend to think like that, because their armor of Yahweh is also praying for that faith. That faith is that armor. It's vice versa. The armor is the faith. And by faith, we got to keep praying. We got to keep doing the things that He tells us to do. It doesn't just work off only just prayer if you don't have no works to show that you're sincere about the Lord. And that ties very heavy into a lot of things, because there's multiple ways prayers and works can work together. Because there's certain brothers out here that may not even be of the elect, may not be prophets. They could be out helping the brotherhood, because it's all one body. That's why it doesn't always have to be a prophet to show that they have faith. If a helpful person that's praying and trying to do the best he can for the Lord, it may come to some occasions where that person may be more faithful than the prophet, because they're doing everything they can. And sometimes, I mean, hell, we go off sometimes. Everybody goes off. That's why we're in these fleshly bodies. But faith works in many wondrous ways. And a lot of people tend to really think about it like that. But faith is something that can't be really taken away unless the Lord snuffs it from you. But it's not to say that anybody's faith is stronger than someone else's, even though there can be occasions about that. It can be different occasions about that. That's why it also says, it was in First Chronicles, I think it's 7th chapter, where it says, "Seek the Lord continually." Seek the Lord continually and His strength. Oh, no, so seek the Lord's strength and seek Him continually. That strength is that prayer that gives us the strength to be able to even stand out here going against these devils. For the people for the brothers that may not be of a prophet, even standing out doing what they can for the brotherhood, because they're going to be marked. We're all going to be marked as terrorists. So the way I see it, the brothers that's not really prophets is still doing as much as a service as we are. So that's why faith. I'd like to go into faith a little bit more, because faith is a very great thing. Especially since not a lot of people has faith in this world, unless it's into the money. I hear niggas be talking about we gotta go after the money, whether it's working, drug dealing, or gang banging. Niggas are desperate to do anything for this dollar. And of course, it's not to say that we can't be out here working. I mean, of course, brothers are supposed to be working, doing what they can to survive. But we're not chasing this money. What we're chasing for is for the Yahweh Shem Yahushua Himself. But right now we're chasing by doing His work. The more we chase into this work, the more we can feel accomplished, knowing that we are one step closer to getting out of this bitch, and one step closer to waking up the elect. Because the elect comes in many different ways and different walks of life. We don't know who it is. But the Lord reveals them when they actually come to us. That's why we say this person could be probably one of the elect of the Lord. We don't know. But that comes all into prayer. If that person believes in this truth that he's got to pray, whether it's either to be a prophet or just a helpful body in general, just to pray that you're protected against these devils that try to come at you every different way since day one. They've been attacking us since day one. That's why our mothers was so quick to give us up in so many different ways. Because that's how Esau attacks us through, our mothers. That's why we grow up fucked up. I know some of us may have had it a little bit better than others, but our mothers were still attacking us left and right. Whether we knew it or not. But that's a different video to go into. But it's still the fact that we still living is because of the Lord. Yahweh Shem Shah is the one who's been protecting us through faith that we show through the Lord. That's why I hear sometimes, even in videos, or in comment boards, really, that these are faithful men. Why? Because if you're diligent and you're wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove, you know how to combat things, when to strike and when not to strike. And that doesn't mean physically, but spiritually. We don't attack Esau or these 2/3 physically. We attack them spiritually, but we know how to handle it in a spiritual way. That's why it's always good to be having a prayer and reading and studying up on the scriptures. But with that, I just want to say Shalom and death to this wicked society.